Eviction Day is November 28th, 12:01 a.m. This is November 25th, day 56 of Occupy Los Angeles, and you're watching Inside Out News.
Asking the participants in the Occupy LA encampment to begin to pack their belongings and to leave City Hall Park in an orderly manner. I'm proud of the fact that this has been a peaceful, nonviolent protest. It has been peaceful because we decided to do things differently here in Los Angeles. We've not stared each other down across barricades and barbed wire. From the start, we've talked with one another and we've listened to each other.
You haven't talked to the General Assembly.
I trust that we can manage the closure of City Hall Park in the same spirit of cooperation.
Los Angeles City Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and Los Angeles Police Department Chief Charlie Beck held a press conference today. The conference was scheduled for 4 p.m., although it started closer to 5 p.m. The mayor announced today that the occupation would have to leave City Hall Park here in downtown Los Angeles by 12:01 a.m. on Monday, November 28th, or else risk arrest. We were present at the news conference earlier today, and we'd like to show you a few clips from that right now.
City Hall Park will close on Monday, November 28th at 12:01 a.m.
Mic check. The General Assembly's response to the City of Los Angeles. Para todos, todo. Para nosotros, nada. For everyone, everything. For us, nothing. As a collective, Occupy Los Angeles would like to express the rejection of the City of Los Angeles' alleged proposal that we leave City Hall by November 28, 2011 in exchange for an apparently now rescinded offer of a 10,000 square foot building, farmland, and 100 SRO beds for the homeless. There is more response and people have it. If you'd like to know it, Mayor, then I can share it with you.
What happened to the 72-hour notice?
Thank you. We're asking the participants in the Occupy LA encampment to begin to pack their belongings and to leave City Hall Park in an orderly manner.
But that way is now over. After 56 days of not enforcing 3 of the city laws that prohibit the use of that park, the time is now.
Mic check. The purpose of our communication is constructive. We, the people, have peaceably assembled in public space, seeking at minimum a full redress of grievances for the government's criminal mistreatment of the people and fraudulent abdication of fiduciary responsibilities in large part to the interests of exploitative corporations and weaponized banks. One more piece, Chief. Elements within City Hall and the police, which we know to be fused with so-called Homeland Security, have said that they want to help us find an exit strategy. In fact, we the people are in the process of opening up a window of opportunity, i.e. an exit strategy for our public servants who desire a way out of the high corruption that we have allowed our governments to become. This includes public servants acting in good faith under difficult pressures, as well as those deeply disloyal to the spirit of their oaths and to the lives, liberties, and general welfare of we the people. There is more, and the people can have access to it, and you, Chief, can read it if you want.
Today is merely the realization that the encampment is no longer sustainable and must end. It must end in order to rehabilitate the park, in order to maintain public safety, in order to maintain public health standards. That does not mean that Occupy's message must end. The mayor has made the west steps of City Hall available. It will continue to be available, and I think it's time for Occupy to grow its message in a different medium.
While the press conference was going on inside City Hall, Occupy Los Angeles held their counter press conference in front of the entrance of City Hall. Jim Lafferty of the National Lawyers Guild was there to talk to the press, as well as other members of the occupation. Here's what was said at their press conference.
And all I wanted to say on this occasion of the mayor's announcement is the following. Number one, it's clear that this mayor cares more about dead grass than he does about a dead economy. The 99% that are being thrown out of their homes, jobless, without proper health care and all the rest, seem to be less important to him than that law. Secondly, it's also clear that he's decided to identify on this occasion once again with the 1%. The banks, the developers, the mortgage companies, the rich cats who get this guy elected in the first place. He's turned his back on the people of this city. It was every possibility for him to work out if he would come and talk directly with Occupy LAers, something that would have benefited everybody, that the city could have been proud of, making this city handle this problem like no other city has handled it. He's dropped the ball. I'm sadly disappointed. On behalf of the National Lawyers Guild, we will stand with all who resist this attack on the First Amendment and the right to assemble. We will defend you and defend the folks in the courts and wherever we need to. And we are confident that this movement will be stronger as a result of the oppression that this mayor is now about to bring upon this wonderful, beautiful movement. Thank you.
Chose City Hall on purpose. If the mayor wants to speak about unsanitary conditions, look at Skid Row. But people are forced to live there because they can't afford to live anywhere else. There are no jobs for college students. That to me is unsanitary. Hardworking Americans losing their homes. That to me is unsanitary. There are 10,000 slaves in America right now. That to me is unsanitary. He should be addressing those things. And choosing political maneuvering over addressing the needs and grievances of the people, to me, is unsanitary. He is wasting taxpayer money to fix grass when he could be fixing our economy. The way it can come, but it only proves our point, that in America, our leaders choose to push away the real issues rather than deal with it head on. And that action is a direct insult to the framers of the Constitution, the founders of this nation. Although they were not perfect men, they knew that the people were the most important things in the nation. Because without the people, there is no nation. And right now, we must renegotiate our social contract, because I never signed to be governed by a corrupt government. And as Thomas Paine wrote, it is the duty of the patriot to protect his country from its government. That's my response to the mayor's speech.
We the people are one, and we stand in peace, undivided through the principles of open collaboration. The fundamental responsibilities of the humanitarian crisis needs to be addressed. Our goal is to spread hope and awareness, to strengthen the idea of the collective web of 100%, to unify all cultures, all species, all movements, addressing the human rights violations and injustices we have all endured. In conclusion, we would like to express our gratitude to the mayor, Los Angeles City Council, the Los Angeles Police Department, the indigenous people of our nation, the interfaith community, and the people around the world who have supported and are supporting our fundamental shift in consciousness. Without their continued support and cooperation in achieving our goal to convene with you, the Occupy movement would not be possible. Mr. President, we are asking you to come from your hearts and to reach out and give the people 125% of your full attention, because they deserve it. Thank you so much, press. Thank you so much, media. Thank you so much, President of the United States, for hearing the call. Thank you.
The mayor says you guys need to be out at 12:01 on Monday morning, so will you guys leave?
Well, you want to answer that?
The mayor is supposed to be the spokesperson for the people. And the people right now are here at City Hall. So to answer your question, some of us will not leave.
The approach being used here by the mayor and the Los Angeles Police Department is no different from what we've seen across the nation, starting with New York, Oakland, Dallas, Seattle, and more, where the mayors have come together, and not just with the mayors alone, they've met with Homeland Security to find a way to evict the occupiers from their occupation sites. They have used health and safety reasons to evict the occupiers. We saw that with Mayor Bloomberg announcing that they had to clean the park, and that after they cleaned the park, they could come back in, but that they could not bring sleeping bags or tents. Here in Los Angeles, we have seen no different. The mayor announced in his open letter to the occupation that it was a health and safety issue in regards to closing down the park. He let them know during the press conference that they would have a space on the West Steps to use to exercise their First Amendment rights, but they would not be allowed to come back into the park. The park is planned to be closed indefinitely for rehabilitation. In the open letter to the occupiers, the mayor wrote that he appreciated the occupiers' ability to change the national discourse of politics from that of discussing debt and the debt ceiling to talking about unemployment and the banks. While he believed that what they've done in that regard was good, he does not believe that they should be at the park any longer. He asks them to close this first chapter of the occupation and to move in a new direction. He also let them know in his open letter that they had done this in a unique way, that they opened communication, that they reached across barriers and negotiated to find a viable exit strategy. The occupiers disagree with this. In fact, there was an occupier who made it into the press conference and occasionally interrupted the mayor. He let him know that the mayor has never come down to City Hall, to any of the General Assemblies, to negotiate, to discuss the issue of an exit strategy with the occupation. There has been some closed-door negotiations done with some of the leaders of the occupation movement here, in specific Mario Brito and Jim Lafferty of the National Lawyers Guild. But aside from that, the vast majority of the members of this occupation have never seen the mayor in person, have never seen anyone from the mayor's office come and discuss the issue with them as a group. As we said, the city has given the occupiers until 12:01 a.m. on Monday, November 28th. They have said that they will arrest them if they remain in the park after that point. And they have not denied the chance that they can and will use force, including tear gas or rubber bullets. They were asked by a member of the press if they would use that, and they neither confirmed or denied it. So the option seems to be on the table based on the response of the mayor.
So was it the LAPD then that made the suggestion that the mayor accepted on the deadline?
Kate, I'm going to answer that question.
Yeah, I mean,
What was the question?
First of all,
What was the question?
What was the
One
question?
second, Chief.
Is tear gas, rubber bullets,
Look,
are those
we're going to use, look, the goal here, and that's why we're giving people time, is to do this as peacefully as possible, to honor the experience that we've had up to now. This has been a good experience in the sense that people have had a right to protest. They've been vigorous about that right, but we've also had to make arrests in the course of these days, and we've done it in a way that I think both the occupiers and the residents of this city feel have been responsible and in a professional manner.
A lot of people say they won't leave.
We will continue to do it that way. You work, and I understand that. You want to make news. We're not going to make news for you. What we're going to do
Violation of people's
we're going
rights
to do
is
this
news.
in
I'm
a
sorry,
way.
in case
Okay,
you know
we're going
that.
to do this in a way that's respectful, but that's also very clear.
Inside Out News will be here throughout the weekend, covering the events leading up and through the eviction on Monday morning, and we will get that information out to you as soon as we can. We're working on getting a live stream set up, and we will at least be tweeting the events as they happen in real time here during the eviction on Monday morning. Thank you for watching. This is Margot Pius signing off for Inside Out News. Good night.